of their screen any moment. I am recording this session. It, like the rest of my classes, get uploaded to a YouTube channel that I will send to you guys in a recap, along with some notes on everything that I am going over today, so you guys can watch and review everything and go through it at your own pace. Before I dive in and go through all the nuts and bolts, it's really important to stress that this doesn't have to be an overwhelming process at all. Even if you've got 20 or 50 orders in the system, or you've only got one or two, all you have to do is calendar it out. The whole process, once you've got everything established, won't take a lot of individual steps or time. It's just a matter of organizing it. And we're talking blocking off maybe an hour or two every week to be able to go through the process of saving all of the stuff that you need for any listing and have it for future marketing purposes. I am going to go ahead and share my screen in just a second here, and we're going to get rolling on this whole how-to process. Give me one quick sec here. Also, if for just a general note, if for whatever reason I disappear because the internet gets interrupted, I will usually the only last 60 seconds or less, and I'll be right back. So doesn't happen a whole lot, but just in case, want to put that note out there. Let's go ahead and get this going. All right, everyone should see my screen. And what we are looking at is a split right now. I've got CB Desk open as well as my desktop. If you guys have taken some other classes of mine, I talk a lot about organization and organizing your workflow. This is a very similar process to make this whole thing easy for yourself. It all starts with how you organize the process. It starts by creating a folder. Now, I put it on my desktop. You don't have to put it on your desktop. This is just for ease purposes for our example. And I like to, store things here, and I'm going to be uploading it to the cloud server anyway. But you can create this folder in your documents. You can create it wherever you would like. And in this folder, we will have all of the subfolders for every listing we will be saving. And we're going to put them all on the computer first. So I'm going to put just an example or two here, just so you guys can, get the idea of what we're doing. Okay. We're going to save a listing and put it also in this folder to make sure that we have a good group of stuff that we want to. I'm just going to put something in here so it all uploads, just so we make sure we've got everything organized and you guys can get the idea of what we're doing. So this is where everything will start, because all we are going to do with OneDrive is essentially, once we've got everything set up, it's a one click and upload, and everything will drop into that system nice and clean. Once we've got our setup here, we will begin by going into CB Desk. Everybody should be familiar with CB Desk, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over anything here. So before we get into the actual cloud storage part of it, I've kind of broken this up into two halves. That all lives in here. What we're first going to do is save everything we need onto the computer out of Listing Concierge. So I obviously am not an agent, but I've got one of my agents was kind enough to let me use their account as an example. So we're going to go in here, and the address I am going to save everything for is this one, 125 32nd Avenue. So I'm going to create another folder in here for my next listing that I'm going to save. We're going to create a new folder and call it 125 32nd Avenue. Santa Cruz. I'm going to click on, let's go back to our order here, and I'm going to zoom that in to make it a little bigger. So this is the listing I'm going to save. To get into it, we're going to click on Manage Order, and we will land on our dashboard. The listing dashboard is where you can see everything that is going on with your order and everything that's happened with your order. This was a gold package, and as you can see, everything's been completed, sans the just sold postcard, but you guys will, get the idea of everything from here. The first thing we're going to save is the obvious and the easy one. We're going to want to get all of the photos out of this system. So assuming you used one of the Listing Concierge photographers, whether it's F8, Open Homes, Virtual Tour Cafe, or I forget the name of the fourth one, whoever it may be, they will have uploaded the photos in this system, and you can see them right here. So you've got our dashboard along the left, or I should say our menu along the left. Your dashboard is right here. As you can see, listing dashboard that I'm highlighting at the top. This is where all of these icons will take us into individual items within the system. All down here, which are all the products that are in the system. That's what these tiles reflect. Photos, which I keep going back to right here, is where your photographer, if you're using one of the in-house photographers, they will have uploaded the stuff into your system, and we click on that and we can see everything right here. To download all of these photos in one fell swoop, we're going to click this select all button, which will, as you can see, all those boxes are now checked. And we're going to download in high res. That's going to give you your print ready photos. So for whatever needs you have in the future, all you have to do is send these files to whether it's in-house printer or a third-party vendor, whomever you're using. These are the ones you want, high res. All we have to do is click on that button and a download will start. It's going to take just a second here because I'm streaming a class and sharing my screen, but as we can see, this download has started. Now my files get saved to my downloads folder, as will most Windows machines, but I think Apple's have a downloads folder too. Everything should save to a downloads folder, but if you're ever not sure, there's always an arrow you can click on right next to the item, and you have a button that says show in folder, and that will take you right to this specific item, which is indeed located in my downloads folder. Once that file has downloaded, so it is completed downloading, I am going to go to let's go ahead and close all of this stuff. I am going to go back to my desktop, and we're going to find that downloaded file. I know it's in my downloads, so I'm going to go to my File Explorer by clicking on my File Explorer icon. For a Windows machine, it's right here. For your Apple machines, you'll just go to Finder and search for your downloads. We're going right here, and I know that the file was called Listing Photos. So I am going to go, this is sorted alphabetically, or I can also click on Date Modified and look at the most recent file that I downloaded. I clicked on this here. These bars obviously will allow me to sort by, now they're sorted by name again, by date. Main point is we are going to take this item and drag it not just into our Listing Concierge Assets folder, but we want to click and hold, drag it, and as you can see, that little bar that says move to 125 32nd Avenue, Santa Cruz. We are going to move this listing photos that we've downloaded right into that folder. If I open that folder now, we can see listingphotos.zip is now located in 125 32nd Avenue. Perfect. That's been saved. All our photos are saved. Now, it has also been removed from our downloads because they've been moved into here. We're going to go back to Listing Concierge. We've gotten our photos. I'm going to click on Listing Dashboard again. And we're going to get, I'm going to go ahead and close that, and we're going to get right back here. Now, let's say we want to download. Now, the process for the mailer, the brochure, the advertising, your flyer, and your just sold postcards, as well as the client report is all the same. we're going to go ahead and click on the brochure and download that. As you can see, we click on brochure. Your proof that you had finalized is located right here. And underneath the UPS tracking information, there's a little gray arrow that if you hover over will say download. When you click on it, it will download a file called preview and then a series of numbers. This PDF is that brochure. This, much like that other file, is located now in my downloads folder. I'm going to quickly get to it by clicking on the little arrow next to the file I just downloaded. There's a little arrow right next to the right of that file that is bringing up this menu. I'm going to hit show in folder. It's going to take me right to my downloads folder and have my item highlighted. I'm going to minimize all of this again, and we're going back. I left my 125 32nd Avenue folder open, and as you can see, this is where I dragged my listing photos. We're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to drag this preview file into 125 32nd Avenue, Santa Cruz. And now it is located here. We're going to click and open it to double check and make sure indeed I have got the correct file. And as we can see, Pleasure Point, 125 32nd Avenue. This doesn't look like the mailer. It indeed is my brochure. Now it's called preview and a bunch of numbers, right? 6 months from now, what good does that do you? You're not going to remember what that is. So what we're going to do is right click. It's going to bring up a submenu that will allow us to rename the file. And we're going to call it brochure and make your life 100 times easier. I'm going to click. Now our file is saved. And then it's just a rinse and repeat for some of the rest of these items. I'm going back to the listing dashboard. And we're going to go to the mailer this time. Same thing. We're going to click little gray arrow. That will download the file, which we can then go to our, I'm going to hit Windows, and I will go to click on my documents. I'm just showing you a different way to get here. And then I can click on my downloads, and then there it is, preview. If you forget what the numbers are, again, we can hover over the item. See, it was 0328 is what our file ends with. That does indeed end in 0328. We can double click it to open it. This is indeed our mailer. We want to preserve this for future use. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop, and we've got that saved. Same thing again. I am going to right click, rename, mailer, silver envelope. And like I said, rinse and repeat. You can do this with the ad as well that was placed in publications. Now, it's not going to show anything in regards to where it was printed. It will only, if I click on it to show you, just give you what that ad looks like. You would want to, if you ran it in the Bay Area News Group, for example, for those in my region, keep a list that you have on file because, it's part of your listing concierge presentation or your listing presentation, and note down what publications are included in that Bay Area News Group, or if you can ever save one, if you're able to grab one, that's another option. But if you just want to download the ad to be able to show what it looked like, same thing. I've got it saved. I'm going to go show in folder. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to drag, let go. It is moved over here. We're going to rename Bay Area News Group ad, and moving on. So let's say now we've got everything that we want downloaded. Let's pretend that I have downloaded everything we wanted to download. Now, what about things like the website, the television and video, or if you had a Matterport, for example. Matterports, just like the property websites, are links. There's nothing you can download per se to save for storage. So what do we do there? Here, what I would recommend is if you have Microsoft Word, we can go to Office 365. I am back on CB Desk. So we go back to our CB Desk and we go to our Office 365 tile. Stay signed in with my CB NorCal. And here are the tools in the Office suite. I am going to go to Microsoft Word, and I'm going to create a new blank document that I can call links for 125 32nd Santa Cruz. Said it like 100 times, I forget. I think it's Avenue. 32nd Avenue. Yes. So what we will do is we will put this is really small. Let me see. I'm going to make that bigger. There we go. Just going to make all this bigger for purposes of the shared screen. We're going to call this 125 32nd Avenue Santa Cruz links. Whoops. And then now I can go property website, and we can go back into Listing Concierge. I'm going to click on our property website icon off of the listing dashboard. This will take us right to the website. The one with the check mark is the one that was created for your listing. And we're going to go right here to the URLs and just copy this URL. I'm going to click on it just so you don't have to click on it. But again, just so we can see what we're doing here. So you want to save this because we're happy with it. We want to be able to utilize it as future marketing for, you know, another listing presentation, because people hear with their eyes, and if you can show them stuff, it is a million times better than telling them stuff. So what we're going to do is go back here. We've got property website, and I am going to paste that link I copied, which I didn't copy. I'm going to copy it and paste. And as you can see, you've got shortcut keys that you can use. Control X is cut. These work on Windows devices, not going to work on Apple devices. But for your Windows machines, Control X will cut things, Control C will copy things, Control V will paste things. And to just paste as text, it's Control Shift V. Don't need to worry about that in our example, but I'm going to just hit Control V, and just like that, my link is now here. Now, I can also, if I wanted to, like I said, Matterport, and paste the link here. This one doesn't have one, but if you did, and I can also, if for whatever reason you haven't yet uploaded the video for your listing to your own YouTube channel, and you want to save it for your own purposes, there's two things you can do. The first one, obviously keeping in line with all the stuff I'm telling you, is go right to television and video. And we're going to click air date and YouTube video, because this is being posted to the At Home in Northern California YouTube channel as well. And we can just copy this link, Control C and Control V, and drop it right there. Now, obviously, I have another class that I teach that talks about setting up a YouTube channel and the importance of that. So I'm not going to get into those weeds here. But if you want to download this video to save and upload with the rest of the materials, or just to use for your own purposes on your own channel, I will be posting this link in the recap that I send out to everybody that registered for the class. This is what you would do. So again, you can either just take this link directly, Or even if you wanted to watch it, you can even do this right from the YouTube video itself. And all we are going to do is click on share and grab that very same link that is made available in Listing Concierge and then paste it right here. This will allow us to download the video so we can upload it with the rest of the assets in the cloud storage folder, again, for long-term storage purposes. As you can see, I downloaded the highest resolution made available, which should be 720p. Sometimes it's 1080, but 9 times out of 10, it'll be 720. When it is complete, you will see, at least complete in regards to formatting, you will see a download button appear right there. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to download a file, which is the name of the video. In this case, it is 125 32nd Avenue, which has now been saved to my downloads. So I can close this, and we can go back to minimizing this. And again, I've left that folder open, but let's say I've closed it. We're going to go back into my Listing Concierge assets. I'm going to go back into my downloads to look for that video I just saved. There we go. And get into my downloads. And then 125 32nd Avenue, we're going to drag it and drop it into the appropriate folder. And again, the video is already going to be titled what it is. If you'd like to make it easier for yourself, you can always just shorten the name. You can also put our local network, in our case, which is Fox 35. However, the channels tend to, or I should say the listings tend to run in a couple of markets, especially right now. There's Fox 35 for us and ABC 7 in the Peninsula, where every listing is running. But I digress. Video saved. All our assets are located in this folder, and I am running out of time. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's say I've got everything out of here saved. I've got my links on my Word document. I've got everything on my computer saved. I need to save this Word document into my folder. So I am going to go ahead and hit File. I'm going to hit Save As, and I'm going to download a copy to your computer. This is going to download the document, which is called Document 1 in this case, to my computer. It is in my downloads. I am going to drag that into my folder and rename it Links for 125 32nd Avenue. All right, now everything is saved. Got everything I want in my folder. I've got everything for all of my listings in my folder. I've got 3 listings that I've had in Listing Concierge. I've downloaded everything. Now I'm going to upload them to my cloud storage server, which, as we've discussed in my example, is OneDrive. So I am going to go ahead and go, my session has expired. I'm going to go back to my CB desk, and we are going to click right on Office 365 and email, just like we did to get to Microsoft Word. And all we have to do now instead of clicking on Word, I'm going to click on the item that says OneDrive. OneDrive, as I noted, is a cloud storage partner owned by Microsoft. You can do the same thing with Dropbox, iCloud, Google Drive, whatever the case may be. As you can see, when you open it, you guys probably will have a blank one. I have mine linked with my computer, so everything is constantly being backed up. That's a whole discussion for another day. Quick layout of what you will see here. A menu on the left, which will show you your files, recent uploads, any shared files that you have. You can discover recent items, and there's a recycle bin for everything that you've discarded. Shared libraries are things that you can share with teams. Again, different discussion for another day. Pardon me. New will allow you to create a new folder or a type of document or link. Upload, we're going to get to in just a sec. sync if this is linked with your computer, much like mine is. You can hit sync and everything will auto upload. I have disconnected that for these purposes because obviously I want to upload my folder in real time for you. There is a sort feature right here. The default is by name, but you can sort by any of the columns that you see here. Modified date, modified by if you are sharing a folder. For example, let's say I uploaded a file because I'm working with a co-list and we want to, as you can see, when you're looking at a specific file, there's a little button right here that will allow you to share it with other people. You can email it to a specific person, or you can click on this and allow anybody with a link to have access to it, which will allow you to copy and paste a link, which will give whoever has that link, much like a private or unlisted YouTube video, access to see that file. Otherwise, anything that is listed as private is only accessible by the user, which is in this case me. So anything modified will be by me. File size, self-explanatory, to how many items are in that file, and sharing again. If you ever wanted to see what is shared versus what is private, that is how it is listed. And then if you click on something, you can see who it is being shared with. Now, all that aside, all we need to do now is upload all of that stuff we've prepared. Everything like we talked about before is already prepped. All of our listings are saved in our nice folder that we have all of our subfolders in. And we're going to go into our OneDrive and click upload and upload a folder. And all we have to do now is select our folder, Listing Concierge Assets, and hit upload. All 8 files, in our case, there's 8 files there, will upload into the system. I confirm by hitting upload, and you will immediately see a progress bar that shows up right here that I am hovering over. When you click on it, it will list all of the items that are uploading and show you the progress of their upload. And as you can see, ours is still sorted alphabetically, and a few seconds ago, there was a new folder created called Listing Concierge Assets that is slowly getting more items added into it. When I clicked the little box, the little circle, sorry, right here, that selected that specific file. When you select a file, you get all of these options. You can share it, you can copy it, you can request files from anybody that the shared folder is being shared with. You can download it back to your computer. Again, if we have uploaded stuff here, we're uploading all of our listings. Now we don't need to have them on our computer anymore because we've got them all on the cloud server. If you deleted them from your computer and you ever needed to re-download anything specific, you can select that file or go into a subfolder and pick a specific listing, and then, like I said, download that folder on its own. You can also delete items, rename items, or move them within the system. I'm going to go back to File, and again, we can see everything here. Everything is uploading. Once it's complete, that's it. It has been done. It is now saved for long-term storage purposes on a cloud server, and you've got all of the assets you need, so when the migration happens, you don't have to worry about stuff being lost. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, open up the chat to see if there's any questions, but anybody can feel free to unmute themselves and ask away as well. I'm going to go ahead and open up the chat. Is the new system going to be similar to Listing Concierge? Does it make sense to save our current templates? In regards to templates, now all of the favorited templates in regards to stuff like that, you will have to favorite templates again in the new system. However, they're going, as there have been consistently uploading new templates to the system, it always is good to go in and refresh, but the fundamental operations of how the system works is going to be relatively similar. All that's happening, and again, I'm not going to get into the big details. If you guys aren't already on that monthly team app for agents calls, I highly recommend it. You can sign up for it in Sales Pro. It is not something that other brokerages do because other brokerages don't develop their own software on this kind of a scale. so they have nothing to talk about in that regard. But B, there's no curtain that is hiding all of this stuff. It's all very transparent. If the agents want to find out, all you have to do is log into that call, and the product team breaks down everything as well as the schedule for how this is happening. It's I just saw the question pop up. What is this called? It's called the TMAP call, TMAP, and it is available in Sales Pro to register for. That is where you will be able to kind of get an idea of how again, we're on the schedule for next month. So the big thing you want to do here is, like I said, save whatever you are going to need from this system, because it won't exist. And a little 30,000 foot view, like a real glaze over answer on why this is happening, is the program was essentially developed by a software developer, and then we kicked off with it, and our agents, through the betaing of Listing Concierge and through all the launches and rollouts, came to us with more and more needs and changes and things that they wanted fixed. And the foundation for that software that the program was built on couldn't necessarily accommodate all of the changes that we wanted to make. And more importantly, it wouldn't be done on a schedule that we could dictate. So as a result, Coldwell Banker spent the better part of the last year developing and designing their own version of that Listing Concierge platform, and that is what we are launching to. So it'll be something that is developed in-house and will then be updated on our schedule and be able to easier meet agent needs year to year based on the updates and regular changes and feedback that they get from the surveys that are sent out to you guys after your orders. That's why, so when that changeover happens, the original developer is going to kill their version of the software, and anything that is in it will disappear. So that's why we are teaching these classes on how to download whatever you're going to want to save. You don't have to save everything. However, if you want to, like I said, as long as you schedule it out, that whole process is how you would save everything from one listing, right? If those were the things I wanted out of that listing, I did it in the better part of a half hour. If you guys block off an hour or two a week to do this, you could get a handful of listings done easily every week. And if you had 30 orders in there, you'd be done in 3 or 4 weeks. Next question. To download a Word document from Office 365 and CB Desk, does one need to have MS Office on their desktop? No. You can download the file just fine. Opening it, whole different story. Editing it, also a whole different story. 9 times out of 10, if you're logged into CB Desk, it should open in the browser because your computer will know, oh, there is a web version of this open. However, most times you're not going to be able to open it if you don't have that on your computer already. So that's why in my example, for the broadest assumption that you guys don't have this software and you're just using it out of CB Desk because it's being provided there, that's how you would put everything in there, and then you could rename the file before you download it. I just do it that way because it's quick, and it again reiterates the whole rename stuff before you make the upload that I keep trying to drive home. But yeah, long story short is you want to operate there unless you have it again. And if you have it on your computer, you can do the whole process from your computer and just start the Word document there. What happens to things like just sold postcards if they haven't been sent out yet and on active listings? Does this package transfer over mid-listing? And will we need to re-enter partial orders? I'm assuming postcards. That is actually a great question. So in regards to orders that haven't been completed yet, by the time the changeover is taking place, your coordinator will start to reach out to you about flagging those orders. And there will be a cutoff date where the changeover will happen overnight. So there will be a cutoff date where they will say, at 2 p.m. Eastern on X date, do not place any orders until 8 a.m. Eastern the next day. You guys will see all of that stuff get dictated. It's, again, a month down the road, but my big whole thing is about being prepared and organized, and this is why we're going over this now, because it's really not all that time consuming. However, if you put this off to like 2 days beforehand, it'll be a whole lot of work for you. Uh, but as I said, I did one listing just in front of you guys in about a half hour. It shouldn't take you more than 45 minutes to navigate through. And in regards to all of the stuff kind of mid processes, your coordinator will start to dictate that stuff to you as we get closer. And that is it for the questions in the chat. Does anybody else have any questions? Please feel free to unmute yourself or type them into the chat. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so it can start saving.